There was a time when the name Las Vegas meant more than just casinos and lights. It meant freedom, a city where ordinary people could feel like royalty for a weekend. Cheap rooms, free drinks, endless laughter. The Strip was alive, buzzing like the heartbeat of America itself. But today, that heartbeat has slowed. The neon still shines, but it flickers over empty tables, overpriced cocktails, and tourists who never return. Behind the glitter lies a quiet truth. The city built on luck has finally run out of it. So what happened to the capital of dreams? How did the playground of the middle class become a cautionary tale of corporate greed? And what does the fall of Caesar's Palace reveal about the biggest lie Las Vegas has been selling us all along? In this video, we'll dig beneath the bright lights and the fake smiles to expose the system that drained the soul of Sin City and why its collapse may be the first domino in a much bigger fall across America.
Caesar's Palace wasn't just a hotel, it was a symbol. The Roman columns, the marble halls, the fountains all whispered one message: grandeur within reach. It was where regular Americans could live like emperors, if only for a weekend. But now, the empire that once defined Las Vegas stands cracked from within. Locals say it began quietly. The shows grew shorter, the food smaller, the smiles faker. Then came the avalanche of fees. $50 for breakfast, $26 for water, $60 for early check-in. One viewer said it best: even millionaires aren't that stupid. What used to be a weekend escape has turned into a financial ambush, and the victims are the very people who made Vegas thrive, the everyday visitor. Caesar's fall wasn't sudden, it was self-inflicted. Corporate boards obsessed over quarterly reports while ignoring the slow erosion of trust. Guests stopped returning. Employees whispered about budget cuts, broken elevators, empty tips. The Palace of Pleasure had quietly become a factory of disappointment. And behind the marble and chandeliers lies the cruel irony. The very greed that built Caesar's empire is what's tearing it down. Because when you treat customers like numbers, eventually they stop playing. The house may always win, but not when the house itself becomes the game. What happened inside Caesar's isn't unique. It's a mirror reflecting the sickness spreading across the entire Strip, where the pursuit of profit has replaced the pursuit of wonder. But if you think these fees and empty tables are bad, wait until you see how Las Vegas rewrote the rules of gambling itself. It used to be simple. You booked a room, paid the rate, and got what you paid for: comfort, fun, and maybe a free drink or two. Today, the price on the website is just the opening move in a long game of deception. Resort fees, parking fees, service fees, convenience fees. Vegas has turned nickel and diming into an art form. One visitor described it perfectly. "We used to visit 3 to 5 times a year. Now it's $40 a day just to park your car." Another said, "If you don't have serious money, the Strip doesn't want you." The resentment runs deep, and it's spreading faster than any advertising campaign can repair. Hidden fees were supposed to be invisible. Instead, they've become the loudest signal that Las Vegas no longer values fairness, only extraction. You pay for the room, then for Wi-Fi, then for using the pool, then for checking in early, then for leaving late. By the end, you're paying for the privilege of being disappointed. Locals call it the Vegas tax, an emotional toll that drains not just your wallet, but your sense of joy. What once felt like a reward now feels like a punishment. And the irony? These same fees that were meant to boost revenue are driving away the very customers who kept the city alive. One viewer said it best: "You can milk a cow for years, but only slaughter it once." The corporations behind the Strip have slaughtered their own golden cow. Tourists are fleeing to cheaper destinations: Laughlin, Lake Tahoe, even Mexico, where hospitality still feels human. For decades, Vegas sold the illusion of generosity. Today, it sells scarcity wrapped in neon. But greed doesn't stop at your hotel bill. It's crept into the games themselves, where the house has found new ways to make sure the player never wins. And that's where the betrayal cuts deepest. Behind every slot machine and shining chandelier, there are people, the dealers, bartenders, cleaners, and waiters who once kept this city alive. For decades, they carried the heartbeat of Vegas, smiling through long shifts, surviving on tips, and believing in the magic that made this city different. But now, that heartbeat is fading. One former cocktail server said it best, "We used to make $300 in tips a night. Now I'm lucky to make $60, and the drinks cost twice as much." Another employee added, "They tell us to smile more, even when guests yell about the prices." These are the voices you don't hear in the glossy commercials, the workers watching the dream die from the inside. Corporate cost-cutting has turned hospitality into automation. Self-check-in kiosks replaced receptionists. Bartenders are replaced by machines. Room service is temporarily unavailable. The city once known for personal connection now runs on corporate indifference. The warmth that made Vegas magical has been replaced by a cold, mechanical efficiency, profit without personality. And when the workers lose hope, the magic collapses with them. They used to take pride in making guests feel like friends. Now they feel like disposable parts in a machine that doesn't care if it breaks. The same city that promised opportunity is now cutting hours, slashing benefits, and telling people they're lucky to still have a job. A local taxi driver summed it up perfectly. Vegas isn't dying overnight, it's losing its soul, one shift at a time. And that loss runs deeper than the empty casinos. It's the quiet despair of the people who built the illusion, realizing that they've become invisible in their own city. But if the workers are struggling, the tourists are reaching their breaking point, and what they're saying might be even more brutal. Once upon a time, Las Vegas promised the ultimate escape, a playground of chance where everyone had a shot at winning or at least feeling alive. Today, that promise feels broken. What used to be excitement has turned into exhaustion. The city that once greeted visitors with open arms now greets them with hidden charges and silent slot machines. Tourists aren't shy about saying it. "Vegas isn't fun anymore, it's corporate now," one commented. Another wrote, "If they rip you off at the hotel, why would you trust the casino?" And that's the sentiment echoing across Reddit, TikTok, and TripAdvisor. People aren't just losing money, they're losing trust. What used to be a place of generosity has turned predatory. Slot machines have tighter odds, free drinks are rare, and every comped meal seems to come with a catch. Players say bonuses barely pay anything now, and blackjack tables are rigged with 6-5 payouts instead of the fair 3-2. The house hasn't just raised the stakes, it's rewritten the rules. "I spent $1,000 and won nothing," one visitor said. "I could have gone to Europe instead." That line captures the new Vegas perfectly. Expensive, soulless, and uninspiring. The laughter that once filled the casino floors has been replaced by the dull hum of machines and the sighs of disappointed guests. Even those who love the city are heartbroken. "I've been going to Vegas for 30 years, one lifelong fan said, "and it's never felt this cold." The nostalgia runs deep. People remember $1.99 shrimp cocktails, $5 blackjack tables, and dealers who knew your name. They remember a city that felt human. Now, Vegas feels like an airport, transactional, sterile, and hollow. The irony, even the rich aren't happy. One user wrote, "Vegas and Disney are for the rich now, but even the rich prefer other countries." When both the middle class and the wealthy stop coming, you know something bigger is breaking. And that's exactly what's happening. The illusion is fading, and people are finally saying it out loud. But the decline of Vegas isn't just about money. It's about the domino effect that greed set in motion. Because when trust collapses, everything else follows. Caesars was just the first to fall. What's happening there is spreading, quietly, relentlessly, down the entire strip. The greed that started in one palace has infected every neon corner of Las Vegas. First came the fees, then came the frustration. Visitors stopped returning. service workers started leaving. The middle class, the true heart of Vegas, packed their bags and went elsewhere. With fewer guests, casinos cut staff. With fewer staff, service quality dropped. With worse service, even fewer guests came back. That's the domino effect. Not a sudden collapse, but a slow-motion implosion of an entire economy, built on illusions. The signs are everywhere. Restaurants closing early because no one's dining. Taxi lines empty at midnight. Valets standing around with no cars to park. Even the slot machines sit unplayed, their lights blinking like ghosts of a happier past. One local commented, "Vegas is branded as empty now." It's more than a complaint. It's a verdict. The Strip, once pulsing with energy, feels hollow. Tourists no longer talk about luck, they talk about prices. Workers no longer chase dreams, they chase shifts. The city that once symbolized freedom now feels like a cautionary museum, a reminder of what happens when greed becomes policy. And the numbers back it up. Visitor rates down, hotel profits falling, small businesses on the edge. A chain reaction that doesn't stop at Las Vegas Boulevard. Because this isn't just a casino crisis. It's a reflection of the entire service economy in America. Every city chasing profit over people is watching the same dominoes begin to wobble. In the 1980s, Vegas represented hope, that anyone could come here and win. In 2025, it represents warning, that no one can escape the consequences of corporate excess. But the Strip's decline isn't only about economics. It's about something deeper, the loss of identity, of magic, of soul. And that's the biggest lie Vegas ever sold. Las Vegas was built on a promise that anyone, no matter who they were, could come here and feel lucky. That was the magic, the dream. But the truth hiding behind the lights is far less romantic. The house was never built for you to win. It was built for you to keep believing that you could. Today, that illusion has finally cracked. The smiling dealers, the free drinks, the endless fun, they were all part of a brilliant illusion. An illusion that only works as long as people still believe. But when greed took over, when every experience became a transaction, the spell was broken. Vegas didn't just lose money, it lost its meaning. One viewer said it bluntly, "Corporate greed is killing America, not just Vegas." And maybe that's why this story matters. Because it's not just about one city. It's about a system that rewards extraction over experience, numbers over people. Vegas is no longer the exception. It's the warning label on the American dream. The neon lights still flash, but they no longer promise escape. They're a reminder that even the brightest illusions burn out when they're powered by greed. The city that once symbolized luck has become a monument to loss, not of money, but of soul. And maybe that's the biggest lie Vegas ever told us, that what happens here stays here. Because the truth is, what's happening here is happening everywhere. So what do you think? Can Las Vegas ever find its soul again? Or is this the future every greedy empire is doomed to face? Let me know in the comments below.